Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening, everyone. This is me, Jonathan Alexander, and I'm here to host our show, Life After Happiness. My co-host Barbara is due to call in, and I just texted her to let her know that it was okay to call in. We wanted to do a show tonight on a subject called Stalking and Catfishing. Let me see if she's here, or if, because I know she's. Let me see here. I'm gonna try calling her.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, are you able?
I'm sorry, I'm still getting my hair dry.
Oh, okay, because we're on the air right now.
We're on air.
Yes.
Okay, well, you're going to have to start the show and talk about it. Hi, everybody. Sorry. I am so sorry. I thought not that she's slow. I've got the best hairdresser in the world here.
Okay.
It's just blow drying me, and I'm almost done. But why don't you tell the audience what we're talking about, and I'll put it on mute.
Okay, yeah. All right. What it is we are doing a show today on stalking and catfishing. And I wanted to do this because this is an issue that I'm dealing with, because I think that it's important to kind of have a middle ground when you talk about when you're looking for somebody to date online. And, Barbara, my co-host and friend, is somebody that, I always worry about, I'm sure in the past has been stalked by someone, And so you don't want to see somebody like Barbara get hurt, but at the same time, whenever I talk to someone and they say they're a woman or whatever it is, I want to make sure that they're really a woman and not someone who is pretending to be a woman. You understand? And I think this is important because of the fact that, how do you get the middle ground? Because a lot of times what will happen is I'll be talking to someone and they'll be texting me, and I try to get them on the phone. They'll say, oh, no, I just want to text. Well, when they text back and forth, I have no way of knowing that this person is who they say they are. And so but then again, if I give them their number, the person feels like I'm putting them in a vulnerable position to be stalked. And, and I can understand it, that the stalking happens. I mean, I have three sisters. I have a mom. I have, friends like Barbara and other female friends that I would never want stalked, But, I don't want to waste my time talking to a 60-year-old man pretending to be a woman either, So that's what I wanted to talk about, because I think that it's important that, people be allowed to not waste their time online, and meet people. I'm not saying everybody that they meet is going to be a good person, or a bad person, whatever it was. But you don't want to waste time when you talk to people, because as you get older, you stop wanting to waste time talking to people, and you really just want to be productive when you talk. You want to. Yes, I'm there.
great job explaining and talking about your difficult problems with the dating, but I'm back, so you can continue.
Okay, are you ready to call in, or are you gonna?
Oh, I thought I was on with you.
Well, you are. You're on Facebook audio, but you're not on the switchboard.
Okay. Well, you continue talking because she actually could do a little bit more on me.
Okay, all right. And but the thing is that I am trying to find out a way that I can have a middle ground with this, because somebody, there's safety and then there's embarrassment. And I have had a woman tell me, she told me, she goes, well, why do you want to talk to somebody on the phone? Why would they be lying to you? It's just ridiculous. People lie all the time online. And it's gotten to the point where it's almost cliche. You're on a dating site, and they immediately they want to go somewhere else and text, And I've learned that this is probably a joke when they always seem to want to do that. Now, at the same time, it's probably a pain to have a guy call you 3 or 4 times a day and, harass you and everything. I can tell you that what I've run into is I've often tried to suggest that people talk on Facebook audio. But usually what I've noticed is that they always use the old, well, I use Facebook for my family and my friends. Well, I don't know if that really matters. You can block me, on Facebook if I get to be too much. And second of all, there's also Instagram, which is something that you can use. There's what's I'm trying to think of that other one. Snapchat. Then there's some other ones. There's Kick Live. That's another one. There's tons of other ones that have audio chats, but they don't ever seem to want to really talk on these. And I have learned, I don't take it seriously until I hear the voice, because, the voice, and I actually heard some people say, well, talking on the phone is a very hard thing to, you can't multitask when you're on the phone. Well, first of all, it's only 30 minutes, not asking you to spend all night on the phone. But, anyway, it's just, I think that I am trying to find out what is a good middle ground for people who are trying to talk to somebody online, not be stalked, and make sure that the person they're talking about is a real person. Now, while Barbara's getting her hair done, which I'm sure she'll jump in.
Johnny?
Yes.
She can't just turn it on and off. Well, okay, she's gonna turn it off for a second. Would you like me to comment on something?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, what were you saying in the title? Something about you don't want to wonder if you're talking to a 60-year-old man.
What I want
as a man.
Yeah. What happens is, yes. Well, see, what happens is that this is what they do. These men, they pretend to be women, and then what they do is they'll text you, but they won't call to you on the phone or do anything to where you can hear their voice. Is what they'll do. And if or what will happen is they'll tell you to call them. You call them, and then they get on the phone and they're like, hello, hello, I can't hear you, hello, because they have a...
You're not there?
What?
They act like they're not there?
Yeah, they act like they can't hear you.
They act like they can't hear you, and they have a good connection, and they're doing this
Well,
on purpose?
Well, it's not so much that, it's just that it happens so much that it's obviously fake. Like, why would you call someone and then, say, okay, call me up, and then only to have them say, well, we can't hear you, I can't hear you, I can't hear you. Let's text, right? That's what they do. They keep the texting going. And it's like, okay, how seriously am I supposed to take this? You understand? That's what happens.
Yes, you have to know when to move on. So you have a lot of experience with this happening. So you should know the signs and then just move on. I just find it strange. How? Hold on, please, Johnny.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. You just need to listen to your gut, and when you know somebody is doing that to you, move on, because they could be a catfish. But here's my question: why in the world would a man do this to another man? Just for fun?
Well, yeah, they do this for fun because see, what it is that these profiles, they say things that women don't say, and
like
you.
What?
Well, like immediately they go into they immediately go into how like they're off in some foreign country. That's what they'll do, and also they immediately start talking really quick, like, oh, let's get involved in a relationship. Immediately, like they want to marry you. And
give me your money.
Right, or what they'll do, this is another thing that they do. They will want to marry you to get a green card. You see. So what will happen
Where
is...
are you meeting these foreigners?
What?
Where are you meeting these foreigners?
Well, they're on dating sites. What they are is they say, and this is another thing that'll happen. They'll list their location as being in the United States, but then they're overseas on the military somewhere. This is an excuse not to get on the phone, and where it can hear you on the voice. They can hear your voice.
I think we should carry this on for another hour. So then, no, you can do it. Oh, she doesn't need the dryer anymore. But because the hair dryer made it so I couldn't hear like your exact issue, and I want to hear it.
Right.
Unless you repeat it just quickly.
Okay. Is she done with your hair or?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to be able to? Would you be able to call in and be on the switchboard, or do you want to keep trying?
Yes. Can we just start it over at 5:30 and just do it for a 5:30 to 6 show?
I can't delete the show and then start another show.
Okay.
But if you want, we can try it again next week.
No. Can you
Okay.
add a half an hour to it?
I just did.
Okay.
I can do that. It's actually I did that. I tend to do that so that if it goes over, there's no danger of being disconnected.
Well, let's get back to the listeners then. Could you please repeat just one of the problems with the dating? Because I find it interesting.
Okay, what happens is that what they do. Yeah, what they do is they go on the dating sites, and then they say, okay, you go on the dating sites, and then you ask them, their location will be something like Orlando, Florida, or something. Then you talk to them, and then you say, well, where are you located? Brazil. They're in Brazil, and they're why are they in Brazil? Well, I don't have money to get to the United States. Right. Okay, we see where this is going.
Oh no, somebody did do that to me. Not to me. They used me and they catfished. They tried to catfish somebody else. They tried to act like they were me, and they got in somehow to like the Facebook messages, and they were pretending to be me.
Right.
This guy was so excited. I was coming to visit him in Australia, and he was about to send $1,000 to me for the plane ticket. And I said, "Hello, that's not me you're talking to."
Yeah. See, now you understand the other side. Okay. See, the thing is that if somebody messages were to message me, and they had your picture of you, laying. There's actually two sides to that. One, it's the guy's being taken advantage of, and it's two, it's you. Your fakes and your pictures are being used, the catfish guys. And so what's happening is they're saying, well, so as soon as the guy says, what the guy should have done is he said, okay, let's talk on the phone. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. No. See, I mean, it's hard to take it seriously. And
well, that's why they don't want to talk, because you're right. They are. I don't want to say 60-year-old men. They could be any age.
Right. But see, somebody would have to pretend as soon as you get them on the phone. I mean, your voice is the same as the voice we see in the interviews. So obviously I can tell I'm talking to Barbara Moore right now. But what I'm saying is that, if somebody just puts in this big picture of Barbara laying on a lounge chair somewhere in a bikini, and then says, let's talk. Okay, let's go and vote. Wait, well, I don't want to do that. You see what that does? It opens up a can of worms, because it puts me in a position to where, I have to. It's like, what point do we determine that this is really Barbara Moore, or
one phone call, and then you need to meet. Don't let them string you along and get your credit card information.
Well, yeah, I'm not even talking about so much money, because I would never fall for that. But the thing is it's wasting time. I mean, they become so infatuated with these people, and it's like they don't even hear the voice. I know one lady that got infatuated with a guy, and she didn't even hear his voice. It was always broken cell phone, connection not good. I mean,
I know. They fall for him because they act like Prince Charming, and the lady wants to believe they have found Charming, so they get strung along. I've seen those documentaries.
Yeah. So see, it's like
that happens because we wanted to find you a romance this summer, and I know you've been trying hard. What app do you use?
Well, I use Tinder as the main one, because I think that I looked at the others. I didn't see a whole lot of what I would call good ones, like for example, Plenty of Fish. It's funny because they should actually call it Plenty of Catfish, because the profiles are just filled. What?
They should have called it Plenty of Catfish.
Oh, you've been on that site before?
I've heard of it. Is that the Christian one?
Well, no, but it's like. Well, but what I'm saying is that it's like every profile is the same thing. Let's not talk on the phone. Let's text here, or I'll give you my phone, and of course it's the text now number, right? And then you call them on the phone. Hello, I can't hear you. And the truth is, there is no reason to do that. I mean, it makes me wonder, how much, I mean, if that's what the women run into as well, I mean, because I imagine that men can be stalked just as much as women can, and
anybody can be stalked.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Men have been stalked. Well, I mean, that goes without saying. So in our title, I know not our title, but our our description of the show, we kind of wrote it like that. Like, if you're a woman, you might find yourself stalked.
Right.
If you are a man, well, no, both get catfished. Both. It seems like more like financial. I thought people catfished people because they thought it was fun to mess somebody up. And I'm sure they do that too, but it's really they're trying to get money, aren't they, John?
Well, that, and there's that, or there's marry me so I can move to the United States is another one. Or
would your parents be willing to take one in? Maybe she really would love you.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to...
You would get a nice wife.
Yeah. I do think, though, that I have noticed, I would say, that Facebook is probably one of the best places to look because there's Facebook audio, you know. But I do think the old, well, you know, my Facebook is for my family excuse is really a bad excuse because, see, I mean, what are they afraid of? You understand? I mean, and the truth is that there's always a way to block someone with Facebook, as there is with, and I put out my phone number. This isn't really necessarily dating, but I put out my phone number, and I've gotten some pretty annoying phone calls before, like people suggesting stupid, blatantly stupid ideas for the show, and you know, I mean, it's obvious what they're doing, and then you know, so I have to be careful just as much as everybody else. But I can understand. It's like I'm trying to find a middle ground. Is what I'm trying to find. You know.
No.
Are you done? Can you would you be able to call in now or? Barbie, you there?
I didn't know which way. Okay, I'm here now. I had it on mute by accident and I was talking. No, I'll be ready. I'm just paying right now.
Okay.
And then I'm all yours 100%. So
okay.
Go ahead with what you were saying.
But
I cannot multitask. I'm not good at it.
I understand. But I'm just curious now. Let me ask you this: in the past, I mean, you've obviously been stalked, right?
Yeah, many times. And it's been a big expense, and I've had to get lawyers, and it was unbelievable because it was somebody I dated that turned psycho, and they were a heart surgeon. And so, you know what? Stalkers have no face. You don't know, but is it going to stop me from going out with another person? No. And that's what my advice is for you. You can't go into all of these conversations with all of this in your head. It's negative, and it's going to turn out negative because all that's whirling around. That's what I was trying to say. Try to get rid of all of that. Everyone should have a fresh start, as that would be fair to them. So you need to, yes, don't take all of this personally, but if you set up proper boundaries, you won't get hurt because one time text, one time phone call, the next step is meeting. And if they don't take that third step, you move on because you have boundaries. You don't want a text relationship. You don't want a phone call relationship. You want a real one. So if you lay down your boundaries, everything's going to be a lot better because you won't be stepped on and you won't even give them a chance to ask these dumb questions because you already gave them their one day of text and their one phone call.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe that is good advice. Do we have any callers?
No, we don't, but that doesn't mean that we won't. We are under the romance category, the show is right now.
Mm-hmm. Great.
Boy, I mean, do you think that when you said that you've been stalked several times?
Yes. I can get to you in 1 second after I pay, okay? Because I cannot multitask.
That's okay.
Tell my stalkers while I do this.
Okay.
So you're going to have to find, for 1 minute, something else to talk about with dating.
Okay. Well, actually, I will say this. I mean, Tinder seems to...
I can't do two things at once. I'm trying to do this.
I understand. Okay, but I was just saying, you know, while you're doing that, like, Tinder is really good. They don't seem to...
What's so good about it?
Well, they do put people in front of you. I will say, though, the only thing I don't like about Tinder is that there's no filtering. You see everybody, you know.
Oh, good.
Which
so how much does it cost?
I think $30 a month or something.
Well, that adds up, though. You're on more than one site.
Well, the thing is, I haven't really been on more than one site. I mean, I want to, because I could go on a lot more sites, but Tinder seems to be the best one because it's the one that's most used. Like, there's another dating site that I saw that was for people who don't want kids. They've had children.
Oh, yeah, that's a big thing now, because I hear that all the time. And I'm like, great, perfect, because I don't either.
But the thing is that when I go to the ones for that website, you know, there's hardly anybody on that site because it's new. Then there's a gaming site, same thing, you know, but...
What about people who have the same things going on in their life that you have? What do you have that is unique going on in your life? Maybe there is a more, like, let's narrow it down, because all I hear about is Tinder. If everybody's on there, what's so special about it, really? It's just,
well, I think it's because you see a whole lot of people at once, and, you know, it's swipe, you know. But the thing is that the difference between Tinder and the other websites is that the other websites you can say, okay, I only want to see people who don't want to have kids, and then you'll see a list of people that don't want to have kids, and then you can say, I want to see a list of people that don't want to have kids and are willing to relocate, you know. And then you can do that. But with Tinder, what they do is they just show you about 30 or 40 people. And some of them want kids, some of them have kids, some of them, you know, I mean, some of them don't want to relocate, some of them do. Some of them are, you know, some of them are certain zodiac signs. Some people are not a different zodiac sign. Some people are, you know, and you start seeing everybody, but then you realize, okay. Then there's another one called Iris that uses AI to determine who you find attractive. The problem with Iris, though, is that everybody it matched me with was in another country.
Hey, Johnny, do you want me to, now that I'm out of there, you can continue what you're saying, and then I can call back on the right line?
Yeah, you can do it now. You can call in.
Because that makes it easier for you?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay, I will.
All right, talk to you in a second.
Talk to the people, though.
Okay, we will. And soon, Barbara will be calling in on the regular line. I feel this is important because this is something that everybody is dealing with. The stories, you know, about the stalking are very scary. You know, I mean, they are very scary. I mean, I would never want to see. Oh God, it's awful. I mean, you know, and are you there, Barbara?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, now that I'm out of there, and I'm very sorry. I thought she would be done way before the show started. Okay, but we are going a little longer so we can make sure it's a good show.
Okay.
So, Johnny, I find it interesting, all of the names of these things and what's different about them. But so why do they name this site Tinder. Tinder, like what?
That's a good
what
question. I don't know the answer to that. Let me see. I can look at this one here. Let me look this up here. Why is the dating site Tinder named Tinder? Okay, let's see what it says.
Tinder. I'm wondering, maybe it's something simple that we just
Tinder
haven't thought of.
refers to the start. The word Tinder refers to the start of a fire for the procedure of small items. In other words, kindling. So, in other words, Tinder got its name because it's sort of like you're starting a fire, igniting of romance.
Yes, I do. I get it. You don't have to explain it for a third time. Thank you for looking that up. Yeah, I get it. And that's clever. Okay, tell me some names of some others.
Okay, there's OkCupid. Now, OkCupid will, you can answer like about 600, 700 different questions. And they are very, 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 very detailed. It's like everything from, do you like fish? Have you ever been to Japan? And then you get rated on a percentage of like how much alike are you from everybody else. The thing is, though, is that the argument that could be made is that once somebody gets high enough, like you, they probably would have ran into you before you would have seen them on OkCupid. You know what I'm saying is like there are just some people that are just like you, so you're going to wind up in the same situations as they are. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, and also I think they do it just to make conversation. So it's not just so leaving it up to you, or it's just going to be so you're not used to writing about yourself, and it can turn out kind of bland and flat and boring and not unique. So them randomly asking you all of those questions, they have some kind of algorithm. They have some kind of thing that they do. They put the unique people together with the unique qualities. And I think it's interesting. It's good. I'm not going to do it, but I have had a girlfriend who got married on, what was the first one? Oh, Match.com.
Oh, okay,
yeah. She met her husband there many years ago, got married, had a kid, still together, happy. But she was very specific. She was like this Amazon tall, thin, blonde, that she would be the masseuse and work on tons of people, like whole basketball teams and stuff. Okay, well, she wanted a tall black guy. She knew exactly how much she wanted him to make money-wise. She put that in there and literally got exactly what she described. Literally.
Have I ever talked to this person? Has this person never been on the show?
She was looking for a unique type of man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what was the question?
Has this person ever been on the show?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
You just think tall blonde. No, this one's like 6 foot tall. Oh, we do know another tall blonde, don't we? Oh my gosh, it's funny. We know another real tall one. Not her.
Okay.
And I ran into her at the mall the other day, and she's still with him.
Oh, wow.
Many years. Okay, so it does happen. It does happen. People do it, and that's why they keep trying. That's why people keep signing up to these things, because it does happen sometimes. You will meet somebody there. A lot of people aren't so lucky. And it doesn't sound like you're very lucky right now. How many prospects have you had, Johnny?
Well, I have prospects. I think that I have prospects. It does seem, though, that what happens is I figured out which website I don't want to be on. I don't want to be on Plenty of Fish anymore. think Tinder's good. I might go back on OkCupid because of the thoroughness about it. Although a lot of times they keep asking you the same questions twice.
Really?
Yeah. Well, what they'll do is they'll say things to you like it would be like asking you a question like. Let's see. Let's think of a good question. Do you have kids? Do you have a family? Well, those are the same questions. You see what I'm saying? They're the same exact questions.
You mean the people who are your prospects, the girls ask you the same questions?
What it is that they have you answer questions, but a lot of times the questions are very much the same. Like, are you out of a marriage and are you divorced? Well, that's the same question. You see, do you have kids, but do you have children?
Okay. Well, they're trying to keep it moving. So, do you want to have kids? It doesn't matter to you if she has kids or not, right?
No, I don't want children.
You don't want her to have her own children either?
Well, the problem with that, Barbara, is that no matter what, the kids become an integral part of what's going on, and here's the problem. Okay, the woman says my kids come first. Now, here's the problem I have with that is that things don't exactly have to be competing entities. One doesn't necessarily have to be a competing entity with the other thing. For example, when you say the kids come first, it's almost like saying which of your kids do you like more. They're not the same thing or asking you. Here's another one: are you a sister or a daughter first? Well, see, those two things. You see what I'm saying with that? I mean, ranking the relationship when you have with your what?
Yes, I totally understand because it's not up your alley. You don't need to go over that kind of thing over and over again with those glitches. You are a person who cares about technical stuff. You're running a show, okay? So those things are going to be very noticeable. And I agree. It would be annoying. I don't want to be with some company that is spitting out the same stuff. To me, it doesn't feel real or authentic, or it's not going to work,
Oh, you mean a dating site, you mean?
Yes. Isn't that what we were talking about?
I think so. But
they're glitching.
Well, what it is, well, no, what they do is that we were talking about children, about people who have children. But what I was going to say is that two things are not necessarily competing things. So a woman dating and a woman being a mom are not competing things. So whenever they say the words "my children come first," that usually means that they're going to use children as a way to keep you at bay. You understand?
Yeah. Well, yes, I do. But, okay, so they stay on that subject. So it's not a computer that's asking the question. It's the woman who's asking the same question?
No, the computer is asking the question. I think what you're asking is see, let me explain to you how OkCupid works. They send to you a whole horde of questions to answer, okay? But the questions are sometimes repetitive. They're the same questions, so it makes me wonder, why are they doing this? Why are you asking me a question that you just asked me, an hour ago? And that's the point that I'm trying to make. I mean, but also the other point that I'm trying to make is that when you are really like somebody else, usually there's a certain kind of what you would call running into each other that's just going to happen because you think alike. It's just sort of like, it's like, for example, I'm sure there are, just to talk about friendship, I'm sure there are models that that you keep running into simply because you're just a lot alike. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. So you run across the same people.
Right. And but I think that, in my opinion, I think that OkCupid is its has as its positives, but I think that a lot of the other dating sites, like what they do, is immediately there is an audio chat. Unless there's an audio chat, I'm not so sure that it's really that interesting to me. The reason I like audio chat, though, is because this is another reason I like audio chat on the phone, is because things get misunderstood with text. Okay?
I agree.
When somebody says something to you in a text, you completely misunderstand. I think like the story about the lady. You remember the lady I was telling? Well, no, it's just I don't know. That's the story for another time. But what it is that I get misunderstood via text, and sometimes, like when you're texting someone, what will happen is you will imagine it in a different vocal tone than what it was said. A good example of it is that whenever I am talking to somebody online, and I'm not gonna lie, this is really since me anxious is, how when you talk to somebody on Facebook and then when they type, you see the little dots dance like they're typing something.
You know they're typing.
Right. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, so what will happen is that the person, this is, by the way, just so you know, don't take this the wrong way, but this has happened with you a few times. I'll see the dancing dots, right? And then you'll send me a message. You'll say, why does so and so and so and so and so and so, right? Okay. And maybe you're meant to be asking it in a very calm, relaxed fashion, okay? But when you type it out, this is what I'm hearing. Why is he? You see what I'm saying? The tone of the text is very different than they're hearing it. People will hear it in their mind. They'll think this person's mad when they're not mad, or this person is screaming at you when they're not really screaming at you. Because what?
I know, and then you think in your mind they're mad at me, but you need to stop doing that and try hard to get all that negative, all those thoughts, because it's wasting your time. Because you could be festering about it and worrying about it, and meanwhile they're not even thinking that at all.
No, that's why, that is why, a lot of times what will happen is that there have been times when I'll be chatting with you and I'll see the little dancing dots and I'm just thinking, okay, I'm just going to call her,
Yeah.
But,
well, you feel comfortable,
Right, because, it's just sort of, and the truth is that you and I do have very good communication. I try to do what you asked me to do. I try to, but it's like I just I think the phone takes care of things better. It's sort of like like when you're passionate about something, I get to hear it more. You see, I want to hear that you're passionate about it, or because a lot of times, a good example of it when you can tell me a story about something that happened with Priscilla, and you can mean for it to sound like well, Priscilla was over at a camp and she came home with a bunch of her friends and we did, and you may mean for me to think that this is the tone of what you would say. But then if you type it out, I may be imagining a screaming woman talking about her daughter, and
I get it. I get
But,
it. So here's your boundary. You know what you like. You like to talk. If the person who you're trying to date doesn't like talking on the phone, they're not going to be the right person for you.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. How are you on the phone? Because I know for a long time you were afraid of it.
Oh, you know why? Because I don't like my time being sucked away from me. I can handle phone calls from you because I pick up the phone because you do it quick. You tell me what you need to tell me, ask whatever, and then we're done. But oh my gosh, every single night I can't take a phone call from somebody who loves to hang on the phone and chat for an hour, which happens all the time. So I avoid those phone calls.
Yeah, I think
because I don't
what
want
it
to
is.
suck my time out.
Yeah.
It drains
See,
me.
what happens is that before I call you, I am mentally rehearsing it in my mind to say everything out as much as I can, and I mean it's true, because I put a lot of energy to making sure the communication goes well, and but the thing is that. And I don't really know if it's really, I have a phone phobia. I do think, though, that I try to keep the phone calls kind of, I don't know why. I mean, maybe I just have an instinct with you to kind of keep phone calls short. Not that I don't want to talk to you, but I just like to keep it short so that I can, I just go on the phone and say, Barbara, blah, 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 quick.
Well, it's not even that. It's that when I say, hey, Johnny, I got to go, you're like, okay, bye. Like that. Exactly like that. And when I say I've got to go, or I'm like, well, I'll let you go now. Oh, no, they ignore that, and they'll talk right over it. They won't listen. They don't care because they want to take my time because they like it. They like having it. It's enjoyable to them. But I think it's selfish. And even when I tell them, I don't even take phone calls in the afternoon, early evening. That's when I'm just really starting to get creative and my juices start to create. Call me in the morning. Oh, no, I have to work. Well, guess what? I work at night. So I guess we're not talking. Unless you can learn how to, speaking in general, unless you can learn how to just tell me what you got new. I don't want to hear the repeat story 5 times, okay?
Right.
What do you have new to talk about? You heard my voice. Now, can I go? Because 20 minutes is a long one to me. And it's always an hour and 15 minutes. It's always. Okay, it's a friend that I haven't talked to for many, many years. Sure, I'd love to catch up, but it hasn't been. It's the same people that just want to talk every single night for an hour would make them so happy, Johnny. Why do they still continue to try to suck that out of me?
I don't know. I mean, I do think that phone calls, I use maybe the difference is that there's a difference between using phone calls for communication and using phone calls because you just love to talk. See, I think the difference is that, and the problem with loving to talk is that things are happening, and I like there have been times when I know I need to get better with this, where I thought that you were mad at me, but then all I do when I call you is to make sure you're not mad. You see, so I'll be on the phone with you, and then this is what will happen. You'll answer the phone. This is true, Barb. You're going to love this. You make me feel so much better. It's like whenever I call you thinking that you're mad at me, and then you answer the phone, and I hear a hello. And I'm thinking,
Johnny, we're really off topic, and it's boring.
Okay.
Say that this was a phone call, I'd be off right now, okay? let's get back to
Right.
the subject. Okay. I couldn't hear. We had a hair dryer going on. You were saying a bunch of stuff in the beginning about your problems. Have you repeated it so I know exactly what you've covered
what my
on the
problem
show so far?
is that I don't want to stalk women, but I do think I have a right to make sure that the women I talk to is really who she says she is. No 60-year-old man pretending to be a woman. And I'm not asking for hours and hours and hours of a phone call. Actually, I think a 10-minute or 20-minute phone call would be plenty sufficient. At least then, I know that I'm communicating with a real person,
Although they could get somebody else in on it. They could be a duo, and they could be having a woman play that part. It's probably rare, but
it would be a lot of effort. It would be a lot of effort. I'm not saying that you couldn't do it, but it would be a lot of effort.
Could you meet somebody naturally around your town, places you like to go, or not?
Well, I'm sure I could. I mean, I do find there are a lot of people that I've met that are near around where I live. The problem is that the more time you spend on dating sites, the more of your standards of what it is that you want can go up without realizing it. I mean, I do not want children, and ideally, I would like to meet a woman who not only doesn't have children but doesn't want them because of reasons that I've already discussed. But
what about ones that are adult children? That doesn't matter, right?
Well, the problem with those, Barbara, is that eventually you deal with grandchildren. See, and the truth is, Barbara, is without realizing it, you talk about adult children. See, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how old Priscilla is going to be. You're still going to want to be a part of her life. You're still going to want to be there for her. So when people talk about adult children, that implies that the mom doesn't. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? You're still going to watch out for her, even if she is.
It's not a hard concept to follow. I do.
Okay.
But
right.
you are really narrowing yourself because women are women, and most of them do have children. Maybe you could just go into it with the adult children would be okay, because a lot of times those adult children come once a year for a visit.
Yeah, I think I guess I would be okay with adult children as long as they understood that I was not going to be dad,
Yeah.
And
they
then I
want you to be a dad. The children just want the new man to be the friend and to accept them and not to change their dynamic in the mom relationship with them.
Right.
You don't have to be a dad to them. They probably already have their own dad.
I know.
Why do they need you to be a dad? They already have one. I don't get it. You see, you're worrying about so much. You probably are narrowing it down. You probably only have seen 95% of the people. Because
I will tell you though, Barbara, there are women that will try to make me, that have tried to make me into a dad, and it's without realizing it. It's
what kind of that they. I mean, that's a compliment that they would even want you to try to be a dad to their child. I mean, that's a compliment. Who did that? I mean, no names, but was this a person you met on a dating site?
Well, it was an ex-girlfriend, and I think it was because, I think it was the idea that, all this talk about father, she had a father that didn't love her and everything. Well, it's like, well, wait a minute, I'm not the one to fix that, So, but we have about 5 minutes.
I want you to find somebody. Don't be so picky with that, because the adult children often live in other states, and they're so adult that they already have their own kids, and the grandchildren come once a year. So I wouldn't limit that. And plus, you come off kind of mean that you don't want even the adult children around. It's kind of, what's wrong with a bunch of little grandchildren once in a while around? What's wrong with that? You don't like children at all around? I mean, they're kind of fun. They're funny. They're fun. They're sweet. They're nice.
Well, I guess it's the responsibility of dealing with them, I guess.
No, you don't want the responsibility, but you would be kind to them for their visit.
Well, I would be kind, yeah.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course you would. Read me, before we go, read me your bio, your profile on your top site that you like the most. Can you read us your profile?
I don't want to get into that. That's those are some private stuff. But I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you what I generally say, and that is that I don't want children, and I would love a woman who wants the paranormal, like is into the supernatural stuff. That's the stuff I generally say. But I'll say that. I won't. The other stuff is. But thank you. All right, are you ready for the shout out?
Yes. Okay. Well, if you ever need any help to spice up your profile and your little bio, I always offer to help you. I think I helped you write one of your dating profiles once before. But thanks, everybody, for listening, and we hope that you got something out of it. We hope that you got a lot out of it and learned or could relate. Please comment. Visit our Life After Happiness Facebook page. Comment there. We will post our link there if you want to refer back to the show. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Johnny. Great job, because it's kind of like you almost did the show alone, the first part, and it was quite interesting. So thank you so much.
Great. Good night, Barbara.
All right, everyone. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.